Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something pretty radical, a blueprint for a new kind of organization. We're talking about one designed from the ground up to take on our planet's biggest challenges. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll look at the massive problem we're all facing. Then, we'll explore the new way of working together that WSS is proposing. Look at the digital engine that powers it. And then, this is the core of it. We'll break down the revolutionary org chart itself. And finally, we'll ask why rethinking how we organize might just be the key to everything.
Okay, let's get right into it. To understand the solution, you've got to understand the scale of the challenge we're up against.
So you have to wonder, right? With so many smart, dedicated people working on these issues, why does it feel like we're stuck? Well, the core idea here is that it's not a lack of solutions. It's a problem with our fundamental approach. We're basically trying to solve 21st century problems using 20th century tools and thinking.
And this quote really hits the nail on the head. Our efforts are totally fragmented. You've got different groups, companies, and even governments all working in their own little silos, often with competing goals and no shared understanding of the big picture. This creates what the source material calls a polycrisis. It's this tangled web of crises that all feed into each other, making any single, isolated action pretty much useless.
So, to get out of that tangled mess, WSS says we need a huge shift in how we even think about working together. It's all about creating the right conditions for real, large-scale, effective collaboration to happen.
And the first big idea here is a word you're going to hear a lot: coherence. The best way to think about it is like an orchestra tuning up before a concert. It's that essential first step of getting all the different independent parts aligned and synchronized so they can work in harmony. It's the structure you need for collaboration to even be possible.
And this is the payoff. This is what you get when you have coherence. You unlock synergy. And we're not just talking about 1 + 1 = 2. We're talking 1 + 1 = 5 or 10 or maybe 100. It's that massive exponential boost in our collective ability, where the whole becomes so much more powerful than just the sum of its parts.
This slide just puts it perfectly, right? Coherence is the setup. It's the architecture you build. It's the condition you create for success. And synergy? That's the incredible performance, the amplified result you get from it. One makes the other possible. It's that simple, and it's that powerful.
So, let's talk about the tech. How do you actually achieve this kind of coherence and synergy on a global scale? Well, that brings us to the digital backbone of the whole operation.
Right at the heart of the WSS model is this digital platform called Phoenix. And I love this description. It's designed to be like a planetary nervous system. It's a global coordination infrastructure that can connect all the different parts and help make sense of all the information flowing in from everywhere.
And when you look at what it's built to do, you can see it's not about top-down control. It's about creating a shared space. It integrates knowledge from all over the place. It uses AI to spot those hidden connections between problems and solutions you'd never see otherwise, and it makes sure everything is transparent. It's a digital ecosystem where different groups can finally see the whole board and align their moves effectively.
Okay, so we get the why, this polycrisis we're in. We get the how, the Phoenix platform. Now let's get to the who. This is the human architecture. How do you actually organize the people to run a system like this?
The structure we're about to see, it is not just another corporate flowchart. This is a blueprint designed from scratch to actually embody the very collaboration it's trying to create in the world.
Okay, here it is, the full blueprint. Now, I know what you're thinking. That is a lot of boxes, so don't try to read every single one. Instead, I want you to just look at the overall shape. See how it's not a pyramid, it's not top-down, it's circular. It's designed like a collaborative ecosystem that radiates out from a central core. Now let's break down the most important parts, starting right in the middle.
So if we zoom right into the center of that chart, we find the organization's heart and mind. You've got the core visionary design team, and their job is to set the North Star, the big picture strategy. And right next to it, you have the WSS University. This isn't just a training department. Its whole mission is to embed the culture of collaboration, the organizational DNA really, into every single person who walks in the door.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. Radiating out from that core, you have the C-suite. And sure, you see some familiar roles. CEO, CFO, but look at the new ones. A chief collaboration architect, whose entire job is to design synergy. A chief Phoenix architect, dedicated to that digital nervous system we just talked about. This shows you that collaboration and systems thinking aren't just buzzwords here. They are structurally hardwired right into the top leadership.
So you've got all these specialized departments. How do you stop them from just becoming new silos?
Well, that's where this group comes in, the Intra-Collaboration Facilitation Team. You can think of them as the organization's connective tissue. They're a dedicated team of people whose entire job is to make sure every single part is talking to every other part, staying aligned and actually working in synergy.
And from that collaborative core, the whole organization branches out. Each one of those C-suite leaders guides a whole network of teams working on specific pieces of the puzzle. Everything from governmental relations and AI research to youth empowerment. The entire structure is designed so that every single action, no matter how specialized, is always connected back to that central, synergetic mission.
So let's zoom all the way back out. Why on earth would you spend so much time and energy designing a new org chart? Why does any of this actually matter?
This quote gets to the heart of it. This whole blueprint is a deliberate attempt to literally design our way out of fragmentation. The core belief is that if we want to have a more coherent world, we have to start by building coherent organizations. Harmony with our planet isn't just going to happen by accident, it has to be architected.
Ultimately, what we're really looking at is a blueprint for our own evolution. It's about shifting our collective mindset from what the source calls an extractive adolescence, where we just take, to a regenerative adulthood. It's about aligning our human systems with the reality of our planet. The source has a term for this: sustained evolutionary cohesive coherence, which is a mouthful, but it basically means we need to build systems designed to constantly learn, adapt, and work together in harmony with the planet for the long haul.
And that leaves us with a pretty provocative question. To solve the world's biggest problems, maybe we don't need one single magic bullet. Maybe what we really need is a fundamentally new way of organizing ourselves to actually implement the thousands of solutions we already have. It suggests that to change the world, maybe the first thing you have to change is the org chart.